Three Demons Book 2, Chapter 33, Bewitched. Yeltsin and the Gabrielle company hesitantly gathered at the town's tavern, tension still very much in the air. Yeltsin's distrust of the demons was obvious. His eyes bore straight into them as the conversation carried on. Zyla was the first to speak up. "We are here to gather the fragments of Excalibur." Once she began speaking, Yeltsin's eyes narrowed in anger and suspicion. "We were sent by the church to gather them before they are thrust in the hands of evil, such as the fallen angels, which you've already experienced firsthand for yourself," she continued. Ivy jumped in on the explanation. "So you see, we aren't here for any reason that would bring harm to this world, only to maintain the peace, mister." Ava would then go on to explain the prophetic story she found in the ruins. "There's a fallen angel by the name of Brachul that is collecting the fragments for a dark purpose, driven by his madness. If he were to get his hands on all the fragments, it could spell trouble for us all." Yeltsin scoffed. "Dumbasses! So you're just gonna gather them for him instead?" He screamed once more at them, causing Randy's eyes to narrow at him as he sat quietly. "Yeltsin, please just listen to what we have to say. We will do everything we can to make sure they never get their hands on all of the fragments." Rhea attempted to calm down Yeltsin, but he was suspicious of the words she had used in that sentence. "Just all? Not any? You say that as if you've already failed in making sure they don't get their hands on any of them!" He hollered once more, causing Randy's bangs to hide the upper part of his face as he sits there quietly, becoming annoyed with Yeltsin continuously yelling at them. "What's the point in telling this guy anything? He's not going to believe us anyway," Kitsune remarks as she sucks on her sucker. "That's why we need your fragment, so Brachio doesn't get his hands on it. You almost died fighting one of his goons. So what chance do you have compared to us?" Kazuto fired back at Yeltsin, the two staring each other down. "I'm going to destroy Excalibur regardless of what happens in the process of doing so," Kazuto continued. However, this seemed to strike a nerve in Yeltsin. "Destroy Excalibur? Are you fucking stupid or something? What makes you think I'm going to give you something I deem my prized possession, only for you to destroy it? I made a vow I would never, and I mean never, hand this over to anyone and to protect it with my life." Yeltsin's voice roared in anger as he screamed at Kazuto. As Asuka attempted to intervene and calm the situation down, Yeltsin's temper flared as he looked down at her. "Shut up, bitch! I don't need to hear from a nun who's forsaken her god." Alter switched to Jake. Asuka was shocked to hear those words come out of Yeltsin's mouth. She froze on the spot as she looked down. Jake placed his hand on her shoulder as he chuckled. "Man, look how manly you sound, screaming at a bunch of kids and insulting women. You might as well wear a white tank top to go along with it." Yeltsin stood up, flipping the table sideways as he and Jake stared each other down, Jake wearing a prideful grin on his face the whole time. Yeltsin placed his hand on his revolver. "Outside, I'm gonna teach you some manners, boy." "Oh, real intimidating. You really do stand like a stone wall, don't you? What's next? You gonna throw a hissy fit and hit me with a whip, and then beg me to call you master?" Jake continued to hurl insults at Yeltsin, targeting the man's pride. The situation was close to getting out of control. Bystanders were starting to intervene to keep the two of them calm and prevent a fight. Jake had started to move his arm outright, ready to summon his scythe. As the tense exchange continued, Yeltsin sneered at Jake and said, "You talk a lot, boy. I bet even your parents wish they had dropped you off in the desert when they had the chance." Jake was left momentarily speechless for a moment before he smirked. "I don't know. I was an unwanted child. But at least I'm not running away from my past like you, holding onto that rusty pistol like some sort of security blanket." As Jake and Yeltsin continued their aggressive exchange, suddenly a man bursted into the tavern, clearly delirious. "Witches! Witches!" he screamed for all to hear. This caught Yeltsin's attention as he rushed over to the man and grabbed him by his collar tightly. Where are they?" He demanded the man to tell him where the witches were hiding out at. The man, still delirious, told Yeltsin, "They're hiding out at the outskirts of town, at the old abandoned gas station. It looked as if they were meeting with a man with bird wings." Yeltsin threw the man down onto the ground as he stormed off, hand firmly on his revolver. Rhea instinctively grabbed Jake's shoulder. "Should we go after him?" Jake turned to head to the bathroom, moving past Rhea, Asuka, and the others. "No, just let him die." End of chapter 33.